Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today we are going to be doing an update on my personal growth planner. So I said update, I didn't really mean update. I'm going to be talking about my first quarter in my personal growth planner. I do use this planner as a combination of chores for my house, for my personal growth, volunteering, community events, as well as goals planning. And I'll just be honest, a lot of that did not happen in here, and so I don't think I'll change up the system, but I am needing to really sit and think about what I want to change in here. And the simplest answer is just to keep trying it. I'll try it again for another quarter and reevaluate in July. So let's go ahead and show you what's in here so that way you can follow along with my journey. One of the take home points that I want to just lay out is that planning can be something where it's a little bit imperfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Instagram ready. It has to be just the things that you are doing, right? So I think my personal growth planner is a good example of that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get in here. I will show you what I have done for the first quarter. So I did decide in 2025 to start this planner as my personal growth planner. It is where I am using an outdated Simply layout. Let me get to it. A Simply layout planner. So this one is one that I've had to redate. So I'm using stickers to do that. And then I have, gosh, like it's just like this week I did a great job. I have my chores in this little section, and then I take notes in the boxes for any journaling events. I also use boxes to denote any community events that I'm doing. But this is just the first 2 weeks with the Simply layout. But you'll see as I move into it that there are certain weeks that just don't look quite as full. So February is a great example of this, where this is just the first and the second, so maybe that's not a great example. But let's go over here into the next 2-week time frame, and look how empty this is, right? I put my community events and I put my chores, but otherwise no journaling. And so I do think that the Simply layout does work really well for the purposes that I've assigned to it in this planner. So I do like the idea of journaling here with my goals. I do like tracking my community events. I like my chores here. And I think honestly, it feels like it's a lot for a single planner, but it works out just fine because there are different purposes for each of the different sections. The issue that I'm finding is that I'm not a great journaler. That's pretty much it. I just don't like to journal. I used to be like a really heavy journaler, like would take pages and pages and pages of journal, like just writing long form when I was in high school. But as I've gotten older, I'm just realizing that I just don't journal to that level anymore. It's probably for time reasons. Also, I have so many planners that getting in here and journaling, then journaling in my personal planner, journaling in my faith journal, it's just a lot of different places where I'm doing journaling. And so going back and doing some goals journaling just doesn't feel right. So as I've already mentioned, I am going to just continue doing this for quarter 2. So April, May, and June, I'm going to continue this. That's mostly because I have the pages. I have the Simply pages, and I've already started decorating for them, I think, at least. Maybe I didn't. I don't recall. No, I didn't. So I guess I could change it if I wanted to. But I am going to try for another 3 months. Subject to change, of course. I can always change my mind, but I think I'm just going to try it for at least the 6 months, the first 6 months of 2025, and see at that point if I should make some changes. But this is really just a super short video to talk about like how I'm doing it. I really think that the big issue is a personal thing. It's not the planners that are causing the problem. And again, the purpose is not to have perfect planners, right? It's to really use your supplies, or for me at least, is to use my supplies, and take time every once in a while to just pause and think about what's working and what's not working. And for me, this works imperfectly. And so the thing that I think I just kind of need to really be cognizant of going into the second quarter is the goals journaling part of it, everything else I do well, like the tracking my community events and then the chores. I do those things well in terms of tracking it. I don't actually do chores very well, but that's a whole different story. But the journaling for my goals, I have not done that well. So I need to be aware of that in quarter two and make some priority be placed on my goals journaling, but then also be okay with letting it go if it doesn't work. So again, I think super short video, right? But one of the things that I'm trying to do with recording these videos is really just taking the time to check in with myself, check in with my planners, and talk out loud where things are. This one is one of those planners where it's imperfect. I don't use it the way that I intended it to be used, but I also don't think that it's enough for me to change it altogether. I also, it's a specialty planner. It's one of the ones where if I had to get rid of it, I would feel it in terms of like my personal catch-all planner would be a little bit tighter. There would be more information in my personal catch-all planner, but I wouldn't really be missing it. Like it doesn't house crucial, super important, urgent information to the point where I have to have this planner. So all that to say, this one is not changing. I'm going to give it another quarter, another 3 months to see where I am, and we'll see at the end of June where I stand with this planner. But it might be one where I'm kind of on the fence, slightly leaning towards getting rid of this one in the second half of 2025. So again, short video to update you on where this one is. I've been doing several videos related to my planner lineup and just checking in with them for the first quarter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.